So good morning, good afternoon. I'm Nora. I think I know most of you. I'm the executive manager of WSA, and here with me in the call is also Manuela, whom definitely all of you know because she is the person in touch with you most. And then also Barbara from the WSA team, who is in charge of storytelling, and Liene, who is also reaching out to you through social media. The idea about this call today is that we are in the middle of the call for applications. All of you, it's basically the time of the year where you as WSA national experts have most of the responsibility to nominate the best tech impact ventures for the global competition. And we thought it would be a nice occasion to first be there to answer any questions that you might have. But also I invited 3 national experts from different regions to share also a bit their learnings. And I asked them to share, to think about a bit, like share with you, how do you actually find the right and suitable candidates? What are your learnings in terms of the trend scouting? Secondly, also, when you nominate, how do you brief? Do you somehow prepare your candidates? Thirdly, also, how do you build a community around this outreach? Did you form a committee or something like that? How do you also involve other partners and don't put the whole responsibility on your own shoulders? And last, but I think very important, how do you benefit from being a national expert? Because it comes with a lot of obligations, and we nag you with the emails and ask you to do more and nominate and be on time. But is there actually what do you get back, or do you get anything back? But maybe first we do a quick introduction round. And later we then hear from John Mark, Sachi, and Carol, but also then open the floor to everyone else who has a question or wants to share their local experiences. Ketevan, do you want to go first? Maybe just introduce quickly where you are and which country you're representing. And then we just go around.
Hi, I'm Keti. I'm from Tbilisi, Georgia, and we have been collaborating with the GIST since 2020. We are doing different, with US-based companies, we are in like a strong kind of connection. We are building a startup ecosystem actually in our country. We have different kind of programs in the frame of the Impact Hub Tbilisi. I'm a co-founder of Impact Hub Tbilisi, which aims actually to support and build startup ecosystem in our country. So last year we have also nominated several entrepreneurs from Georgia to WSA. Besides the like tech and startup ecosystem, we are also running a program which aims especially and has the focus especially on the impact ventures. The program is Social Impact Award, which is also international program and is run in up to 20 countries. And this year we are also planning to nominate some interesting ventures to the WSA.
Thanks a lot. George, could you go next?
Hello, everyone. I'm George Malekos from Cyprus. I was involved in many startups as a mentor and in EVA before the European Youth Award. I'm involved in WSA for 4 years, I think now. And it's very interesting, of course, to see all these proposals and all these ideas. And some of them, they are taking one idea and they are trying to take it to the next level. So, and as we know, innovative is not, it doesn't mean that it's something that it starts from scratch. It's probably something that already exists, but in a new way. And we love to help people with mentoring, to help them take their idea to the next level, because the problem with the entrepreneurs is that they forget how to sell it later. They want to create something new and something new and something new, and they forget to sell their existing idea. So here where we come from the business side, let's say. So we do some speeches here in Cyprus to the startups. to try to help them to make their product better. Hopefully, we will have some ideas to send to WSA this year. And I'm here, of course, to help. If anyone from your country needs help, I would be really glad to help.
Thank you, George. Abdullah.
Okay.
I hope you got your morning coffee.
Most definitely. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Abdullah Kemokonze, a founder and CEO of IT Specialty Enterprise. I just became a WSA national expert yesterday. Yesterday. So all this while, WSA in Sierra Leone has been dormant. I'm from Sierra Leone, West Africa to be precise. So all these years, WSA Sierra Leone has been dormant, no operation. So I wanted to apply because I also have an idea, IT Specialty Enterprise, non-profitable organization I formed since 2018, which gears towards taking ICT at the doorstep of privilege through IT educational program, research training, workshop, and grant. So I wanted to apply. Rather unfortunately, I was an expert. So
you can do both. It's fine. WSA experts can also nominate their own ventures, but not only.
Okay. Okay, so that's good. Yeah.
So welcome to Sierra Leone to the family. Happy to have you.
Okay.
Then maybe staying on the continent, and Amos, do you want to go next?
Yes, good morning all.
Yeah, good morning.
Just quickly saying like from which country you're presenting in WSA.
Great. My name is Amos Emmanuel, WSA National Expert for Nigeria. And let me welcome Sierra Leone. So can I see any other African here? No,
yes,
I think Kesigo, yeah, great. Kesigo, great. Okay. Well, WSA Nigeria has been there. I'm happy to say I've done like 12 years now. Time flies. Hey, I can see my friend Sachi. Everyone, thank you. Good morning all. Great. Actually, in Nigeria, I've been having fun, and the coast here is widening up, and we try to see how we can engage. Nigeria is a very big country of over 200 million people, and quite a lot of regions also. We have about 36 different regions plus the Federal Capital Territory we call Abuja. And I think in the last decade, the strategy has been to just do as much as we can. But I think in this brand new decade, our strategy is different. We are working as while trying to recover new ones, we try to see how well the ones in the last decade are faring. How are they faring? And we try to see how we could possibly conscript these energies in the effort to regrow the future generations. So I just tagged that in innovation bed, but it's just a foundation. In my small initiative, I run a small foundation called Programmers Foundation. And this is just what has been able to give us like a digital ecosystem that we've tried to evolve. And I think in the long run is paying off, because we now try to see how we engage each of the regions by trying to see how I can keep representatives in each of the regions. I call them WSA national, I call them WSA state representatives. And these WSA state representatives are able to give me a reach out wider than I could have done sitting say in Lagos alone. And I think with that, it broadens my reach, and of course makes it fair that more people from different parts of the country can participate in the global competition. And one spectacular thing about this particular edition is that
Amos, I think we are still in the introduction round. You are in the middle of the knowledge sharing, which is amazing.
Excellent. Thank you.
Let's meet the others first, and then we go back to you.
Excellent. Thank you so well.
Anatoly.
Yes. because I have problem with the audio. Please repeat what I want to say.
It's just that you quickly say from for which country you are representing in WSA. I mean, it's mentioned in your name, but in your Zoom name.
Okay, represent myself. Okay, my name is Anatoly Kremenchutsky. I am the World Summit Award expert since 2005, and I nominate a lot of nominees, but unfortunately only one nominee was shortlisted in 2020. It's COVID year, but I hope the next nominee will granted by WSA Global Congress.
And you're representing Kazakhstan.
Yes, exactly.
Kesigo, can you hear us? I think you have some connection problems, right? Otherwise, we wait a bit and continue. Damian, are you here?
Yes, I am. Let me second just to. Hi, everyone. I'm Damian from Serbia, active since 2018, officially since 2019, and I was present in 2020 in Vienna in February. And then I realized what I get into. And so I hope everything I feel about World Summit Awards, Abdullah, you will feel soon. And it's amazing, amazing people all around the globe giving their best to present social products that can change the world, aiming the goals. And it's amazing bunch of people. And hi to everyone.
Nico. Maybe later. Kesigo is from Botswana, representing WSA in Botswana. Nico, I'm actually not sure which Nico it is, but let's say maybe later. And then last but not least, before we go to our 3 experts that I invited today, Yvonne.
Hello. Hi, I'm Yvonne. I forgot when I joined the WSA. I think some times ago. For us, we will actually for myself, because I'm holding for the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan staff competition, and I will find some excellent projects from that competition. And also for IPRA, actually, we will hold, we will support different kinds of staff contacts or some competition this year. And among them, we will try to pick out some winners to join the WSA China selection, so that we can cover more better projects. And I hope that we can have one world finalist or world champion later again.
Thank you, Yvonne. So as mentioned, we have today also John Mark, Sachi, and Taro with us. I invited them because different reasons. They went through, both John Mark and Sachi went through the WSA cycle both as nominees, then they both have been winners, then they both have been involved as jury members, and then they became national experts. So they kind of know the different sides and perspective and experienced all roles. So I thought they had a lot to share. And Caro I also invited because I mean, I think we had in the last years always so many winners from Chile. So either Chile is just so amazing, or Caro is doing a good job, or both. So I wanted them to maybe go first, and I just repeat a bit what I wanted them to share. So first a bit how to outreach, how to form a committee, how to best cover the country, and how to have this innovation pipeline and find the suitable candidates. Any learnings around that? Then also a bit, how do you then brief and stay in touch with your nominees, and how do you support them? So it's one thing, they're excellent, but then how do they present themselves in WSA so they can actually also convince the jury? And then the third element would be a bit, how do you yourself leverage WSA for your own careers? Is it a door opener? How do you benefit from the community, and are there any recommendations? And then When we heard from them, we can also, I'm more than happy to also hear more from Emmanuel, because he's also has some amazing success. And also Dorothy Gordon just joined, and also she has been very successful and involved in WSA since many, many years. So anyone who wants to go first, any volunteers? Otherwise, I'll choose. Carol.
I was just gonna say Sashi, but I can go. Yeah, I can go first, no problem. Okay, so here, good morning, good afternoon, good night, everyone. Nice to meet you, some of you that I have never met. So my name is Carol Rossi, and my experience, I'm just gonna start with the kind of like 3 blocks. So first one is, how do we do it? It is today, Chile has a committee, so it's a little different, but I'm gonna start from before, because I guess that many of you do not have a committee, and you are just by yourself and trying to pick the future eventual winners. So something that in my experience has helped a lot, and it happens because I come from the startup world, so I have been always filtering or looking at startup, is actually try to have your criteria. Taking in consideration WSA criteria for sure, but also having like your criteria, which in my case are like product, market, and team, which means product is what they're doing, if they're building, if they're building something that is understandable, that is easy, that you can actually kind of explain to someone. And sometimes that doesn't happen because it's something very complex, but in that case, it's like, okay, what can you at least identify the basic stuff of what they're building? This usually happens with SaaS platforms, with something digital that is, you don't really know how it works behind, but it's there and you can actually see something. So any case in terms of like related to product, first of all. Then market, in terms of like, can it has scalability, can be something big, can it grow? And I always care about market, because usually when you have a product that has a big market, even though maybe the market is concentrated in a specific region, let's say Latin America, maybe it would be something that maybe Europe would never be that useful, or maybe you would not love it that much, but it's still in the region, it has a lot of impact, then usually that would be something that the others will value, or they will see as something that, oh, cool, this can make a change, or this. And then the third point, which is of course very, very, very important, is a team. We always listen about this, but basically team is just the founders. If you get good people, a good team, usually the project is gonna be good, the pitch is gonna be at least good or really good, and then also the way they're gonna take this initiative, like they're gonna take this nomination, is also gonna be important. And in that point, which it happened to me once, which I nominated a project, which I believe until now that is amazing, and then but that person did not fill in the application at the end, which that happened. So usually because they were too busy, they had no time. Doesn't really matter why. The important thing that I also worry to filter is that I really try to nominate projects that really wants to be winners. And it has happened more than once, actually many times, that I have amazing project that I never nominated, or I didn't, or even with the committee 2 years ago, which was the first year of the committee, we entered into discussion because we did not nominate some big companies, which are really, really big. They're amazing Chilean companies, but I know that even though we nominate them, they will not gonna appreciate it that much because of the stage of the company. So that's something really important to take into consideration. Then I usually look for them to be doing something different, like to have innovation, but that innovation doesn't mean, of course, someone said here, it doesn't mean that you need to make something new that no one is doing. It just means that you're doing something in a different way, and that is obvious that it's in a different way, or at least there is an obvious impact that is different that no one else is doing. In terms of like, then that's all the general part, and then I'm trying to think, kind of like past my insights, basically I always nominate someone that has at least an MVP, which means that you have a project that is live and you can see, is it a website or something that is usually nice? I do care a lot about design. I do care about those little details, because at the end, the judges are gonna see that. And if you just apply with like a website from 1998, people are not gonna believe your project is good, even though maybe it's good, except it's like, I don't know, scientific project or something, but in general, it doesn't work like that. So I really worry about like, okay, what do you have? Can you show it to me? Send me the website to do all that analysis. And then just because of, I'm gonna move faster because of time. What we have done during the last 2 years is that we form a committee. The committee was formed with people that have very good networks, a connection to the entrepreneurship community of Chile. So, and they come from different places, so they have kind of different hats. Most of them in general have some kind of relation with social impact, at least in one. Some of them are very related to social impact, as Matias Rojas, who is actually has been a WSA winner, but he also leads kind of like social incubator that is called Social Lab. So you have those cases, but then you have other cases, which is like Seba Diaz, which I don't even know. No, they're not in this call. But Seba Diaz, who happened to be the last executive director of Startup Chile, and he knows a lot about social impact, but he has another kind of mindset that also I think brings a lot to the community and to the committee. So the committee for me has been great because it gives you more hands. So in time-wise is a really good solution, but you really need to take care of like who would join the committee and why are you putting those people there. And then this is also very important, and I'm gonna end with this. The part of how you prepare the teams, I worry once we select the teams, which today we're doing it through a committee, so we're selecting it together, kind of like in a round table. We filter them with the characteristics that I told you. We're like, okay, this could be a winner. This is really like someone that we will kind of invest on. Once we have—
Sorry, Caro, just is there, when you say filter, is it that everybody in the committee brings suggestions, or is it that you have an open call and people and benches apply?
Okay, great question.
And then you filter?
Yeah, no, so each one of the committee brings their nominations per category. So we have okay, practically speaking, we have an Excel, which is shared by all of us in a Google Drive. So then each one of us says like, okay, this is the one that we nominate for each category. Some of us will bring one per each category. Some of us can bring just 3, per category, or just 1, or we don't really have no one that can fit the category. I don't know, that depends. And then the last part, once we have the winners, which already selected, is something that I still do individually, which is I speak to every single founder. Literally, I have a call with them for like, I don't know, 40 minutes, an hour. I talk to them and I get to know about them if I don't know them from before. And then I work in the cover letter that I sent. So I like, if you're never gonna, I don't think maybe you have seen it, but if you see my recommendations, I do take a lot of time on doing the cover letter. Like, be like, okay, I am part of this team now. So if I am saying as a national expert that this guy should win, I'm gonna justify why I'm saying they should win. And I do that and I write that down. I don't write something like, they are a really good team. It looks like they have potential. Eventually they can be a big game changer, blah, blah, blah. No, I really take care of what I write. Be like, look,
Caro refers there, for those who maybe don't know, there is in the database, when you as national expert nominate, there's a section, your reason of nomination. And it is really, really important because the judges always refer to that. It's you as national expert have some power and some trust. So the jury trusts you that you did the right choice, and usually go even before they look at the video, they go, why does the national expert think that this is the best product in learning and education from Chile? So that's the cover letter that you refer to, Carol, right?
Yes, thank you. Good, I have put that notice here so then everything is more clear. But yes, this is what I'm referring. So that part, it is actually very, very important. Then in terms of, I don't want to stand that much. I just rather someone have question, answer the specific question. But in terms of the last part, which is like the value how do I benefit from WSA? I mean, I honestly think WSA network is amazing. I have personally had a great time since I joined, and also it was not, and just for you guys to know, so Manu's here and she can approve this. It was not like, oh yes, I would join. It was like kind of a negotiation in a positive way with Manuela when she called me, because I was like full of stuff, like my agenda was kind of full. But actually this is, the only thing I can tell you guys is that I am someone that loves a lot to give value to the community. I enjoy it, I have fun, but there are not a lot of stuff that I do not do for free in my life. And this is one of the ones I do, and I do it with honor. I do it happy. I love it. I have had a great experience. The network is probably the most multicultural network that I have ever experienced in my life. And also I think there is also seniority, like professionalism in terms of how the whole system is built, which is something that you in the long term as a national expert value a lot, because it's like, okay, so this is professional, there is a system, and also we're giving our time, but we're getting so much value back. And it also comes with the community and network, but also with the events when we get together. I can just say that the benefits are difficult to count. It's difficult to write like a list. Oh yeah, this is the stuff that you get by doing this. It's just like, maybe some of them are even unexpected, you know, and I think that's of huge value. So yeah, that's kind of that's my
Any
side
questions yet
Yeah.
to Caro? Otherwise, we continue, I would say, with Sachi.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Nora. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm starting with good evening because it's almost good night to me. So my background is actually very different to Caro's, because Caro explained she's been with startups, and she's been with the crowds, and she's been with the industry in terms of evaluating startups, validating startups, but I'm the complete opposite. I was focusing on my product, which I build, and I got selected as a winner in my previous company. And that's how I got to know about WSA. I haven't even heard of it before, but let me tell you my story, how I got into it and what did not work, what lessons I learned, and how I grew and what works now. So when first I became a winner of WSA, I was delighted because it felt it's more than winning something. I felt really, how can I say, more content, more satisfied, more accomplished, not because of an award, but because of being a greater purpose, something bigger than us, bigger than the company, bigger than the country, going beyond to a greater network. And so when I got into the shoes of WSA Network expert for Australia, my first thing was to apply my technicality. If I'm to sell a product, how would I do that? I need the marketing kit. I need the website. I need the social media. I need the banners. I need everything to look professional, elegant, and attractive. So that's where I started with, because that's what I knew. I did not come from a heavily engaged in networking background. And this, I believe, was a good starting point, but it was not giving me the right ROI, meaning the hours that I contribute in addition to what I do versus the result that I get. I could not justify if I look at the numbers that we got, because I started first in 2017, and I was talking with Manuela as well and with Nora. Why am I unable to find winners? Because I did not have the answer, but it's an answer I had to learn myself by making mistakes. So then after I had this deep conversation with myself, I asked to, why is this not working? Because I'm putting a lot of hours, and these are hours that I could, if not, invest in the company that I'm building here in Australia as well. So I want to make sure every minute I spend gets the maximum throughput. So I went back to the roots. I was asking myself, what did I really value in being part of or being recognized by WSA as well as being a winner? It's the ability to contribute to the greater cause. And not everyone would care for this. That's the reality. And some people would apply for an award just to look at a monetary benefit. And not everyone would care to apply for an award just for recognition, but and also to get into the network, because one might have different viewpoints. That's the reality of the world. So I understood this is not for everyone. This is not for everyone who looks for another trophy in their trophy catalog. So then after what I did was I focused on what I was not good at, because what I was not good at based on my exposure was to be in a greater audience and to collaboratively meet with lots of startups, because my focus was, I'm an engineer by profession. So I was harnessing my product. I was focusing on building my team to do the same thing that I'm good at and to do it at a scale. So that got me to think out of the box, and being part of WSA Global Congress has also helped me to personally grow. I consider myself an introvert, and I believe I transformed to an extrovert through WSA, thanks to WSA. And I wanted to take it to the practicality. So I looked at how can I tap into audiences. So that's how I started looking at people who share the same values, people who share the same cause, people who share the same vision, and people who believes in doing the same thing as WSA. So in Australia, I found a couple of organizations, Social Change Central being one, Social Impact Hub being another, Venture Cafe Sydney being another. So I went to these places, I associated with these startup hubs, I became part of their weekly Friday networking events. So I got to know people, and I then was able to spread the message from ground up, not a top down, rather it's a bottom up approach. Because when you meet with people, you figure out who really cares for it and who connects to it and who resonates with your idea. And I believe that was the transition for me, being a national expert. And then the message that I had the infrastructure in place. If you look at WSA Australia, there's a website, there's social media, everything is there. But I was not attracting the right people who really cared for what WSA stands for. So with this ability to tap into networks and being part of like-minded audiences and then being able to spread the message, amplify together, was a turning point. So I believe some of you are starting new, and Abdullah said you started yesterday, so don't worry. And these lessons I learned, I think you can apply and you can easily leapfrog. So this is what did not work for me. Maybe it works for you in your country, you never know. It's different from one country to another. And so what I do then after is now I'm not following a spray and pray strategy. I mean, I do not just broadcast a message and hope for someone to apply and for that someone to be the right person to apply. So it's not the number of people I sub in, it's not the quantity, it's the quality. And it's the relatability to WSA's course, WSA's vision. It's not just pushing 8 applicants, it's pushing the most probability to win applicant through the gateway from each of our countries. So I believe that's a very important point to focus on. So it's finding the right people, finding the startups who can really benefit from WSA. I myself, being a winner, was really helpful because I looked at how it helped my startup at that time and how it got us to get into a broader audience and to push our message to a larger network. So finding people who can really benefit from them, these kind of same values. And when I try to attract such people, the sense of satisfaction I get is also unbelievable, because it makes me really happy, because these hours, these pro bono contributions that we do, it's not for any monetary benefit. We can make those by allocating those hours elsewhere. But this gave me real purpose. And so this is, I believe, where I arrived at the current balance of finding the right people who WSA would appreciate and who would appreciate WSA. So this is both ways. And moving on to time management. This is a very important question. Nora was having a chat with me and asking about this. Or in fact, the first thing that came to my mind was there's nothing called time management. You can't manage time, it flies. It's how we prioritize. We have time for what matters, right? And at this moment, it's 6:45 p.m. If this matters to me, I'm here. If it not, no, I have better things to do, right? So there's nothing called time management. I don't believe in that. It's what matters. And if you really care for it, if you can really relate to it, if you really take satisfaction, accomplishment, and contentness out of it, then you would allocate your time. Then you're not tired to wake up late hours or to work after or joining another call to have a conversation with a probable applicant. So, and also the other side is you need to have a good support network. Because end of the day, you can't do it on your own. You need to have your friends and family who believes and who validates the time you spent and where you spent it. This is very important. Otherwise, you would do the best job for 1 year. You won't be able to allocate those hours the next year. Definitely not the year after, and definitely not for 5 years or 6 years in a row. It's having that support network. I think this is an element we mostly overlook. It's a very fundamental requirement. The people you work with, people you associate, your friends, family, everyone should understand why you do what you do. And they should be able to help you when you're up as well as when you're down to continue the same journey. So I encourage our new experts to focus on building a support network. That's a very important aspect. Finally, I believe the third area, Nora, you wanted me to talk about is how we can individually benefit to our businesses. For me, this has been the best conversation starter. When I go to a potential business discussion or even a investment discussion, people who come to these meetings have done their due diligence. They have looked you up on Google. They have searched for your name. And when they find you are part of a bigger network than what you're pitching and asking money for to raise your Series A, B, or whatever you're being part of, then it brings that curiosity. And that's been one of the best door openers to me, because it all of a sudden gets people to rather question the same question that we have. How do you manage your time? How do you do all these things and still build a startup and still justifying to raise investment, still justifying to expand beyond your country to go to other regions? So I think that's the best contribution to the individual business, meaning as part of your own company, your startup, and how can WSA benefit to it? I would like to summarize it there. I believe would have had some value.
Thank you so much, Sachi. I think it's so valuable to learn also from your own failures, but then to share it with someone else so they don't start with the same failures, but learn already from them. Thanks a lot for sharing that. Jean-Marc, George, you have a question, right? First.
My question goes to Carol, because in Cyprus we have a problem, I will say, because we are 500,000 people. We are 600,000 actually. So that's why I was laughing earlier. Programmer said there are 200 millions. So you can understand the difference. And we have a problem, I will say, to convince the projects to apply. We have some good teams with good ideas and so on, but we have an issue to convince them how to apply. So how do you solve this problem, Caro? Because I see you have a successful thing here.
Why do you think you have the problem? Because they don't want to, I don't know, fill in the application, because they don't see. Say, okay,
probably they are afraid that they will I don't know, they will need money, or because we cannot tell them there is a money award like we used to have in Cyprus. We used to have a competition that is not in for the last 2 years now, that we were helping them with a money award and helping them to go abroad on other competitions and so on. And now probably they are afraid of that, and we cannot convince them to see the value of cooperate with other teams, to live the experience and all that we share with you, the whole idea of WSA and the other awards, let's say, because we don't want them to think that it's only the money. I mean, you don't need to apply somewhere that you can win only money. There are much more that you can win out of these competitions. But
okay, yeah, I get it. I usually what I do is that this has been even maybe, I don't know, I would like Matthias to be here so then I'm not saying something wrong, but I believe that I even have this conversation with Matthias, who is one of our national experts and was one of the winners. Like, yeah, but why would we apply? Like this is a conversation I have with most of them, not all of them, but most of them, because the teams that we get, they are teams that usually they already raise some money, they have traction. I mean, they're big teams big for a startup. They're not just like an idea and that's it, or something very basic. What my way of pitching WSA is, it has to do a lot of kind of with my background that I think Sachi kind of mentioned it. I've always been in this tech scene, but my way, I'm gonna say it anyways, you never know if it helps. It's like, look, I always tell them this, I call them, this is my boys. So I'm like, look, I have been to a bunch of competition and this is my pitch. I have been a panelist in like South by Southwest, which is super famous in tech. And I have been to, I don't know, 100 hackathons and startup events and everything, but I had never seen something as WSA. In the case of, it is the most multicultural, it's the most multicultural and diverse network that I have experienced. That's one thing I say. The second thing I say is that it is also a network that have different kind of actors. So you have actors that are related more to public policy or government, but then you have some tech, more tech startups, and then you have some people that come